What if the moment you reach the pinnacle of your success, right when the ink's drying on a $100 million deal, the entire industry turns against you? That's exactly what some believe is happening to NFL legend turned media powerhouse Shannon Sharpe. Out of nowhere, a lawsuit surfaces, one packed with disturbing allegations, a familiar power attorney, and a conveniently timed media storm. But here's the twist. This isn't just about the accusations. Behind the headlines, behind the outrage, a deeper question is bubbling up. One that names like Dave Chappelle are now openly asking. Is this an industry takedown? A warning shot to a man who gave a microphone to the wrong voices? Or is it exactly what it looks like? A man caught in the wreckage of his own decisions? Either way, what happens next could shake the very foundation of who really holds the power in entertainment. On April 20th, the internet exploded. News broke that a woman known only as Jane Doe had filed a devastating lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe in Nevada, accusing him of a series of violent and deeply disturbing acts during what she claimed was a manipulative and abusive relationship. According to the complaint, she first met Shannon at a gym in Los Angeles in 2023. She was 19, he was 55. From there, she says things spiraled into a dark and coercive dynamic that left her physically and emotionally shattered. But what really raised eyebrows wasn't just the accusations, it was who was behind them. Enter Tony Busby. If that name sounds familiar, it should. Busby is the same high-profile Texas attorney who's made headlines by targeting major entertainment figures. He's the man who launched a legal firestorm against Sean Diddy Combs with dozens of lawsuits from anonymous accusers. He even went after Jay-Z. And now, he set his sights on Shannon Sharpe. This isn't just a lawsuit, it's a calculated legal blitz, and it hit just as Shannon's star was burning brighter than ever. From the very start, some fans and insiders weren't buying the timing. They saw something deeper, a strategy, maybe even a hit job. Why now? Why this way? And what exactly does Busby want? Because the accusations in the suit are brutal, but the power dynamics swirling around them may be just as explosive. Just when things couldn't get more surreal, comedy legend Dave Chappelle entered the conversation, and what he reportedly said behind the scenes made people stop and think twice. According to multiple sources close to Chappelle, he had already warned Shannon Sharpe this might happen. Not just something bad, but this. A scandal. A takedown. A headline built to humiliate. Dave wasn't speaking randomly. He's seen this play out before. In Hollywood, he said, there's a quiet playbook for what happens when someone steps out of line, especially a powerful black man who's suddenly giving a mic to voices the industry would rather keep silent. And that's exactly what Shannon was doing. His show, Club Shay Shay, had been exploding. Guests like Cat Williams, Monique, and other outspoken celebrities had gone viral for exposing the underbelly of Hollywood, talking about exploitation, control, and secret gatekeepers in the business. Kat's interview alone broke YouTube records, pulling in millions of views almost overnight. And for the first time in years, the mainstream couldn't ignore what was being said. That's when Dave allegedly stepped in with a word of caution. He told Shannon, this type of disruption, giving a platform to people who rattle cages, comes with consequences. And now, with a lawsuit on the table, a major deal in the works, and a media frenzy in full swing, people are wondering if Dave's warning wasn't just prophetic, it was inevitable. Here's where things start looking way too convenient to ignore. Just as Shannon Sharpe's career was hitting a new peak, right when he was reportedly inking a media deal worth over $100 million, this lawsuit drops. Not before, not after, right in the heat of negotiations. Coincidence? Maybe. But the timing has raised serious questions. Shannon wasn't just succeeding, he was thriving in a way few athletes turned broadcasters ever do. He had crossed over into mainstream cultural relevance. He was building his own media empire, and he was doing it his way. But if you followed the industry long enough, you know that kind of independence doesn't always sit well with the power brokers behind the curtain. Dave Chappelle once said that these big money deals always come with invisible strings attached. And if you pull the wrong one, or refuse to play along, there are consequences. Heavy ones. Think back. Mariah Carey signed a $100 million deal, and months later she was being called unstable in the media. Martin Lawrence was one of the biggest stars on TV, Then suddenly he's running through LA with a gun, screaming that they're trying to kill me. And now Shannon Sharpe, who was riding a wave of success, is suddenly being accused of horrifying behavior and slapped with a $50 million lawsuit. All just days after rumors of his mega deal started leaking. Whether it's a setup or not, one thing is clear. This lawsuit didn't just threaten his reputation. It put the entire empire he was building at risk. The actual details in the lawsuit are disturbing, no matter where you stand. Jane Doe, whose real identity was later revealed by Shannon's legal team as Gabriella Zuniga, claims that what started as a relationship quickly spiraled into something violent, controlling, and traumatizing. According to court documents, Shannon allegedly pursued Zuniga after they met at a gym in Los Angeles in 2023. She was 19 at the time, and Shannon was well into his 50s. From the very beginning, she claims he exerted control, treated her like an object, and crossed every imaginable boundary. She accuses him of choking her, threatening to unalive her, and even sharing private recordings of their encounters with others, without her knowledge or consent. Zuniga alleges he used threats, manipulation, and even a visible firearm to intimidate her during one particularly terrifying incident. She says she tried to share her location with friends out of fear, but claims Shannon caught her and allegedly grabbed her by the throat, warning her that if she ever did that again, she'd regret it. But it didn't stop there. The most chilling accusations involve forced intimacy, acts she says happened while she sobbed, begged, and pleaded for him to stop. She described one incident in October 2024 and another in January 2025, both involving violent and non-consensual acts that left her broken. One of the claims even says he told her he wanted to do things to her that would make no other man want her. In her words, Shannon Sharpe isn't just a football legend. He's a manipulator who used his fame and power to dominate and silence. The lawsuit paints a picture of someone who weaponized their status. And Zuniga wants a jury to hold him accountable. She's demanding $50 million in damages, saying this isn't just about her. It's about stopping a pattern of abuse she believes has gone unchecked for far too long. Just when things couldn't get more intense, a recording surfaced, an audio clip that some are calling the smoking gun. In it, a voice alleged to be Shannon Sharpe's can be heard threatening to choke the shit out of the woman if she repeats something again. The clip is jarring, unsettling, and spreading fast. But according to Shannon's legal team, it's not what it seems. His attorney claims the audio was heavily edited, pulled from a consensual encounter that included role-playing, fantasy scenarios, and even language that was explicitly requested by Zuniga. That's the key point his team is pushing, that everything that happened between Shannon and Gabriella was agreed upon. They say she sent texts asking for aggressive behavior, using phrases like, "choke me with a dog collar," and that she even talked about wanting to have his child. Shannon's lawyer insists this was a mutual relationship, and what we're seeing now is a calculated attempt to twist their private moments into a public nightmare. But even if that's true, one question still lingers. Why did Shannon offer her $10 million to keep quiet? Yep, you heard that right. Before this lawsuit ever made it to the press, Shannon Sharpe reportedly tried to settle it behind the scenes, offering Gabriella Zuniga a staggering $10 million to walk away. His legal team admitted it. That number wasn't leaked by the accuser. It came straight from Shannon's side during private mediation talks. And here's the thing. You don't usually offer someone $10 million to make a false claim go away. So what's the truth here? Some argue Shannon was just trying to avoid a media circus, that the $10 million wasn't an admission of guilt, it was damage control. Others say it's the clearest sign yet that something foul really did happen, and Shannon knew it would eventually go public. And for a man who's built his brand on honesty, real talk, and transparency, offering a massive payout behind closed doors feels like a crack in the image, a moment that raises more questions than it answers. Tony Busby didn't waste any time. The moment Shannon's team acknowledged the $10 million offer, Busby clapped back, hard. In an Instagram post, he called out what he sees as a contradiction, how Shannon publicly calls the case baseless, while privately offering millions to make it vanish. He confirmed the $10 million figure and claimed it was rejected by Zuniga, who chose to pursue justice in court instead of settling for cash. Busby also accused Shannon's team of trying to dox his client, manipulate the media, and discredit both her and him in the process. And that's not all. He said Shannon's side was preparing to release a short, edited video to smear Gabriella, but he challenged them to release the full 10-minute clip instead of the selective 30-second version they were allegedly preparing to leak. "If you've got nothing to hide," Busby said, "why not show everything?" And suddenly, this wasn't just about a legal case. It became a war of perception. One side says it's extortion, the other says it's accountability, and everyone's watching. This is where Dave Chappelle's warning starts to feel a lot less like paranoia and a lot more like prophecy. Because if you zoom out, this story starts to resemble a pattern, one that fans and insiders have whispered about for years. Big star hits new level of success. Big star makes powerful enemies. Then suddenly, boom, everything unravels. Mariah Carey, Martin Lawrence, Britney Spears, Chappelle himself. Stories of stress, breakdowns, sudden media implosions, and always, right after they seem to take control of their own narratives. So when Dave reportedly warned Shannon that giving a platform to people like Cat Williams would have consequences, he wasn't just talking, he was speaking from experience. And now, as Shannon faces a career-defining crisis, some are asking if this is a classic play from the Hollywood Handbook. A calculated blow designed not just to hurt, but to humble. But not everyone's buying the industry takedown theory. Online, fans are split. While some rally behind Shannon and point fingers at hidden forces, others say the red flags were there all along. Social media lit up with people questioning why a 56-year-old man was involved with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model in the first place. One post read, "Shannon Sharpe is older than her dad. What did he think would happen?" Another said, "A lack of discipline will ruin your legacy faster than any scandal ever could." The conversation isn't just about innocence or guilt anymore. It's about power, judgment, and public trust. Shannon Sharpe built his brand on integrity and straight talk. But to some fans, this whole situation feels like betrayal. They're not just questioning whether he broke the law. They're questioning who he really is, and whether the man they've watched and admired for years was hiding something dark behind the charisma. So what's really happening here? Is Shannon Sharpe the latest black figure to be targeted just as he reached the mountaintop? Or is this a textbook case of someone trying to dodge accountability by playing the victim? There's evidence and accusations. There are audio clips and legal threats. But there are also timing issues, industry whispers, and a long history of powerful people being torn down the moment they try to take control. Maybe Shannon is innocent, and this is all a smear campaign. Maybe he's guilty of more than anyone expected. Or maybe the truth is messier than either side wants to admit. One thing's for sure, this isn't just about a lawsuit anymore. It's about power, perception, and the price of stepping out of line. And in the end, we have to ask ourselves, is this justice or a warning? Let us know in the comments, was Shannon Sharpe the target of a takedown, or did he orchestrate his own downfall? And don't miss our next deep dive, where we expose the hidden patterns behind Hollywood's most infamous collapses. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it.